Hey everybody, it's Dina Rico with the Creativity Cave, and look at this adorable card that I have created for you featuring the Press On stamp set, which is my good friend Joyce's $1,000,000 stamp set. And this is featured in our brand new holiday catalog, which went live today. So I can't wait to show you some really cute tips and tricks to create this awesome card. First, I am going to start with a crumb cake card base. And I probably should show you that there's kind of a fun little treat on the inside. And I think this card would be really easily adaptable for the holiday season, whether it's Christmas, holidays, Thanksgiving, or even Halloween. So on the inside, I've created a little gift card holder. Now I put an Apple card in here because I happen to have an iTunes card handy. But what I was thinking would be super cute in here would actually be like a Starbucks gift card, but I didn't happen to have any on me. Partly because I don't drink coffee, but I do give Starbucks gift cards out to people all the time. So anyway, so this says a cup of thanks. But like I said, I think this would be easily adaptable for any holiday season too, just switching up colors. All right, so I'm going to start with some Whisper White and some Magenta Madness cardstock, and then I've got my strip of Whisper White for my coffee cups. I'll stamp them in some Memento ink because I'm going to color them in with my Stampin' Blends, and you want to use Memento ink for that. If you're using another coloring medium, like maybe watercoloring, then I would use StazOn because that will work for that. All right. If you use Memento with watercoloring, it would likely bleed, and that's no good. Okay, so when I started this, I started with my Magenta blends on the center. I knew that I wanted to have magenta, of course, in my coloring, but I also wanted to be careful to make sure that it didn't overpower the card, because magenta is kind of a intense color if you haven't noticed. I love it, but it's kind of intense. So I'm just going to color these in. I started with the dark, and then I'm going to blend in the light, and I chose that middle cup to kind of keep everything sort of balanced in my card. I think it looks better than if I would have done like one off to the side with my magenta as the main color of my card. Okay, so I've got that color done. I'm going to move on with my Mango Melody. And I always like to start with the dark. So in this case, I'm just going to color every other stripe with the dark and the light. And I do that on a couple of these. And that is, you could do blending in this, but there's not a lot of space for it. So I just chose to do the light versus the dark. And then of course I'm leaving the top of all these cups empty because they are usually white anyway. Now when I did that originally, I was like, oh, that's not that dark. But when you come back in and put one more layer of dark down, it's amazing the impact it has. So it's kind of worth doing that. There we go. Next, I'm going to do this polka dot coffee cup. And so I wanted to choose Pool Party. So again, as always, start with the dark. And I'm going to go not quite a halfway up and just color the bottom with the dark blend. And I almost am like doing kind of dots around just because I want to keep those polka dots clear. And then I will blend up with the light. So it's dark on bottom and the lightest color is on top. Now, if you wanted even more color gradation, you could add the light Bermuda Bay at the very bottom and then blend up with the Pool Parties. It's really up to you. And again, I think I'm just going to go over the very bottom of this with a little bit more color, so you really see that. Isn't that just so cute? Okay, next I'm going to do Highland Heather. So just like the diagonal stripe, we're going to do every other dark and light with our blends. It's just so easy to color. Now, the thing about blends is, of course, there's no coloring lines, unlike our Stampin' Write markers, but they also are such vibrant, beautiful colors. I really like them, and you could probably get a similar but not quite as nice effect with our markers. Of course, you'd have to worry about the brush stroke lines, but also I love that we've got the different colors. Now for my last cup, I decided to go with a neutral color and just chose my dark crumb cake, well, my crumb cake blends. Now I also want to create a table or ground my coffee cups. So I'm just going to kind of go across like this with my dark. And notice I did the brush stroke, and then I'm going to kind of blend it out with the light. Okay, that creates a ground for my cups to sit on, and it looks really nice. Now I'm going to color in my coffee cup. Do you guys ever see the movie Maid of Honor, where Patrick Dempsey's character designed the cup koozie or whatever this thing is? I love that movie. I always think of that whenever I see these. I think of him, which is kind of funny. And I always wonder, did that guy really make 20 cents off of every single one of those? I'm going to go with no. Okay, so there we go. The coloring is just so cute and happy and fun. All right, now I'm going to place it right here, not to glue it down quite yet, but just to hold the place for it. And then I want to do a little stamping. So I'm going to bring in some scrap paper here to protect my work surface. But what I want to do with this is add a little background as well as my sentiment. So for that, I'll use my coordinating Magenta Madness ink pad. And I'm going to stamp the sentiment right below, like that. Okay, then I'm going to take the little coffee beans that come in this stamp set, and then I'm going to stamp these off like this. And I will tell you, this is my friend Joyce's $1 million stamp set. I have sat in a Starbucks with her before, so I know she loves coffee. All right, so that looks super cute. And then I will adhere this panel down onto my card, as well as this panel to my Whisper White panel. So I'm using my Stampin' Seal. I really like it. It took me just a little bit of time to figure it out, because it was just a little different than what I was accustomed to, but I do love it. Okay, so I'm going to position this just above my sentiment, and then I'm going to add some of our coordinating Magenta Madness ribbon, and this is awesome ribbon. One of the reasons I love it, of course, is the color, and I love the style. It's kind of got like almost a chevron-y look to it, but it ties really nicely and it lays really nicely on your card so that it won't create problems when you go to mail this. Now, whenever you mail anything that has any kind of dimension on it, whether it's a popped up piece or a ribbon or another embellishment, I recommend using a quarter sheet of cardstock to put over the top. And of course I tied this and it's just not laying right. So there we go. That's much better. You just kind of got to work it till it does what you want. Okay, so I put like a quarter sheet of cardstock on top of my card envelope when I mail it, and that keeps those bumps from causing problems with the post office machines. Just a little tip for you. And you know what? I mail out quite a few cards. So I know. Oops, I think I got a little aggressive with my dimensionals here. I do know how to handle things with the post office so that you don't have to pay that extra charge, which is frustrating, right? Okay, so I'm popping this up onto my card, and that is awesome. Now we've got one more little element to add, and that is the gift card holder for the inside of our card. So I'm going to put that aside. I've cut myself about a 2-inch, 2 1/4, I think, by 4-inch piece of printed paper. This is from the In Color paper stack. And I'm laughing at myself because I was like, oh, I don't need that punch. I think I did keep it out. I was cleaning up before I shot my video, and I was going to put this punch away, but then I recalled that I needed it for this. So I'm going to just cut a little divot out. I'm centering this up on either side roughly, and I'm just punching out that little divot so that people can pull their card out. Now I also want to add a little bit of snail. So here's a little trick for this, or not snail, Seal Plus. I'm using Seal Plus because it's a little stickier, and I'm just going to put some on the very edge of my card, not all the way across, just the edge. And I'm using my silicone mat because it kind of protects, oops, and this is how sticky it is. I'm going to start from the top and go down. Because I'm trying to protect this from sticking to my background. And then what I'm going to do is just flip this over, and then it will stick wonderfully to itself and to my card. So I really like that. And because I did a pretty skinny strip of it, my card should fit inside just fine like that. I didn't do it quite so tight on my sample, which is why my card was positioned the other way. So we'll just place that on there, and then voila, that sticks perfectly inside so that you have a nice little gift for the recipient included. I hope that you loved this video. Please subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up and a comment if you could, if you liked my project, and if you really liked it and would like to purchase the items that I created this card with, I would be just so excited if you could shop my online store. There is a link to all of the supplies I used in the description of this video, as well as on my blog post, and the link for that is there as well. Thank you guys so much for stamping with me today. I hope you loved this card, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.